everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast. Grab coffee. Join us this morning. How's it going, guys?
How are you doing is the better question.
I'm fine. I mean, it was an exciting series.
It was.
Obviously, I didn't like when they pulled Wu out, but I mean, at the end of the day, the lack of run support, it's something that I said all year, right? If the opposing team scored 4 runs or more, it was a wrap because our bats just couldn't overcome that. And, we wrap up 4-3. So it was a fitting way to go down. Hopefully the Jays can go take out the Dodgers because I don't want to see them win.
And we all know that that's not going to happen. Them damn Dodgers are stupid crazy.
Yeah, the Dodgers are going to win. But
without a doubt.
Honestly,
it sucks to even think that, but it's
they are
going to win.
Kudos to the Blue Jays because I mean, you go down 0-2 at home for them to battle back and win like that. That's awesome. Like if you're a Blue Jays fan, like you love that.
And I was going to say to you too, like if you're going to get beat by somebody, have Springer beat you because the guy's got the 3rd most home runs in postseason history. Like if you're going to get beat by somebody, that's the guy that you want to beat you, not a guy like Vlad.
Yeah, I mean, Vlad has had an amazing postseason.
Yeah, and and for you, Bo, I was sad to see the Mariners not make it. But I got to be honest with you, when the Mariners did make it, my house is so quiet now. You can hear a mouse.
Yeah, no doubt.
That dude is not chirping anymore. It is so beautiful.
Honestly, obviously it sucks, but just because they're still the only team to have never made it to a World Series. But I don't think it would have mattered who's going from that side. The Dodgers sure look like they're going to beat up whoever shows up.
Well, if their pitching isn't, or if their hitting isn't the one doing it to you, that pitching staff is just playing lights out right now. Everybody's pitching amazing.
The downside is it might be another, 25 or more years before I see him back in this position. So that's the part that worries me a little bit.
I don't know, though. I got to, first of all, let me just say congratulations. You guys did an amazing job picking up Suarez, Naylor. I mean, you know those, right? I mean, those were some great acquisitions. They did really good for you guys in the postseason, right? I mean, that was a good pickup. And like you said earlier, that's not something typically that the Mariners have done in the past to be competitive like that. So this could be maybe the new start of your franchise where maybe you guys are, or maybe ownership and things are going to start.
Oh, it's cute you think that, but
I know, right? Am I being too optimistic here?
The only slight chance I give the Blue Jays to maybe win a game, if not 2, is because they have home field.
Oh, I think they win a game.
I think they can win 2. I think they can win 2 games.
I don't think they get swept.
No, I think they can win.
I was thinking more of like a gentleman sweep might actually happen. I think that you're right. I think they're going to get 1. I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep.
No, I think they get 2. I think it goes 6.
Yeah.
You think it goes 6?
Yeah.
Man.
Nope.
I just don't see that. But
I
see a gentleman sweep.
I think it goes 5, and I think that it really Toronto may win the first one because of the rust, but that's it.
Yeah, so tell us about.
No, actually, no, not with the drinks. I had too much food last night.
Okay.
So tell us the birthday bash.
So I did we went out to 801 Chop House, which is it was originated in Iowa, was the first one, and then this was the 7th one here in Minneapolis. And I had a monster tomahawk steak and a monster 1-pound lobster tail.
Nice. Steak, medium rare on the steak, correct?
Of course.
Okay. Some people don't do that.
You can't haul off and ruin a steak. Come on.
Oh no, there are people that.
I was telling one of the guys. The one guy got his steak medium well. I'm like, listen, medium is as well as a steak should ever get. And you know what? The truth of the matter is that when somebody like that orders it medium well, the Chop House is smart enough to know they really want it medium.
Yeah. And medium should only happen because
they did not serve that steak.
Medium should only happen if they accidentally overcooked your steak. That's really what it is.
Yeah, like I said, I got a buddy of mine that will
Yeah,
order
no.
a beautiful ribeye and then tell him to charcoal it, and I'm like, I don't get the point of that. But
Yeah.
anyway, I'll probably pack. So, how about the rest of your birthday, Bubba?
That was really about it. Like I said, once you eat that much food, you feel fat.
Well, what was
So
it?
I went back to the hotel and
What did you drink with it?
well, we had a bottle of wine. I had Syrah. You know, I like a red wine with it, but I don't like a real heavy, thick red wine. So I went with a Syrah,
Okay.
and you know, and it was and then afterwards I went back to the hotel bar where the bartender there was making me this blueberry lemon concoction because they didn't have Screwball. And I watched the Mariners lose and the Lions win and the Seahawks win.
And Mike Evans returns only to get put in the hospital by a hospital ball.
Yeah. Well, and he's done for the year.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah, that was
on
that
my
was
birthday, Brandon Graham decided to give me a birthday present and say that he
There
was
you
coming
go.
back to the Philadelphia Eagles.
What
And
was
I
your
knew
thoughts
this.
when
I
you
knew
heard
this
he
a week
was
ago.
back?
Remember, I told you I said I know something that I can't tell.
That
Was what I couldn't tell.
since,
I knew about it a week ago.
So since Frankie's in the chat, I'm just going to loop back to the Blue Jays for 1 second here. I do want to congratulate Don Mattingly though, because Don Mattingly's been in baseball now for 40 years, 14 years as a player, 12 years as a manager, and 17 years as like a bench coach, hitting coach, or whatever.
Okay.
This is the first World Series he's getting to in his 40 years as a manager. And when you think of the teams that the Yankees had when he played, it's hard to believe that he's never been in a World Series at any point.
Nice.
I wonder if Don Mattingly would make a good coach for the Yankees.
He won't get into managing anymore. He was with the Dodgers. He was the Dodgers manager from 2009 till 15, or 2008 until 15.
Yeah.
He started that run that the Dodgers had been on, and he never made it. Then he went to the Marlins, and I mean, managing the Marlins for 5 years, you kind of lose interest in managing.
Yeah, I can see
Surprised you
that.
didn't lose interest in baseball.
Yeah, that's why he just became a coach now. I don't know what kind of coach he is with the Blue Jays, but he's been on the Blue Jays bench the last 3 years. So
Right on.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in the firm. I was telling Frank the other day, I felt like, I think Brian Cashman has had more than enough time to try to win a World Series with the amount of lineups that he's had with the Yankees. And I was telling him I wouldn't be mad.
Look at Joe trying to be nice.
I know, right?
Let's give it time. Brad will be in here in a minute.
Yeah. Not yeah. It was disappointing, obviously. But it's the Mariners. We're used to it. It's the furthest they'd ever been. So I mean, they've made it to the series a couple of times. This is the most competitive they've been in that series.
right.
So, to come roughly 9 outs.
To be within 9 outs, 8 outs
Exactly.
actually.
Yeah.
8 outs because there was 1 out in that. And I was watching from this chop house. They had a TV all the way in the corner inside the bar, and you could see it off of a mirror from inside the bar. So it's funny because I only see. I'm like, oh, they're up 3-1. It's like 1-1. Oh, it's 2-1. Oh, it's 3-1. Nice,
Yep.
nice. They're gonna pull this one out. You know what I mean? I'm kind of rooting for it. And then we get to the hotel, and they're like, oh, they're changing pitchers. Ooh.
Well, and then I mean, you watched him throw the meatball. You're just like, oh no. Like he hadn't even swung yet, and you saw the approach, and you're just like, shit.
Please get under it. Please get under it.
Oh man, that's what you were hoping too, because I mean that thing just like hung out there, and you're just like, man, every batter would have tattooed that thing.
Yeah, and not only that though, but this guy. I mean, he's got like what the third most home runs.
Yeah,
in
25 postseason home runs, third most.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this guy's used to connecting in those
Well, and I
moments.
think it said that he had 9 in this postseason.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he's just been blasting the ball. So,
He'll never have to buy another drink in Toronto, that's for sure.
That is very true. Yeah.
I don't know if that was Joe Carter like though.
No, that was not Joe Carter like in that point, but I mean, it's probably the closest hit they've had to a Joe Carter like hit in a long time.
Probably since Joe Carter's hit.
Yeah, right.
Well,
That's what I was thinking.
the Jose Batista bat flip back when they beat the Rangers in the NLDS, was that 2016? When the Rangers were up 6-4 and Batista belted that 3-run shot and had the bat flip over his shoulder to get him into the ALCS. That was
Yeah.
probably the next biggest hit since Joe Carter, but this one obviously trumps Batista's just because you're getting to the World Series as just getting to the ALCS.
Yeah, I tell you, just like so, there were some people from Toronto that were in the hotel and they were watching, and it was just like I'm just like, oh. And then I started talking. There were some finance guys. One happened to be from Philadelphia, but the other 5 guys were not from Philadelphia, and we started talking about it real quickly. And it's funny when you watch finance guys who know nothing about baseball, they just one by one, poop, poop, hey, it was good meeting you, and gone. It wound up just being me and the Philly guy, who I think was just being, I think he knew a little bit about sports, but, wasn't really interested in talking to me about it. He's like, I'm here for finance. You have a great trip home.
Yeah, and congrats to your Lions last night too. So they came out with a nice win against the Bucks. So.
I thought that was going to be a much more of a blowout game.
Really, I thought that was going to be a tight game the whole way.
I did too.
I actually, the way they came out, I'm talking after watching that first series, and they were like, bam, 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 done. And then they started to drive down the field. I tell you, Tampa Bay's defense picked it up when they needed to, because they were driving and do a stop. And then they were driving and then they would do a stop. Kind of reminded me a little bit of the Eagles game, not better played.
Yeah.
And it makes me think that the Lions right now, obviously the Lions have got to be the number 1 team. I would follow the Colts as the number 2 team right now. And if we were doing my power rankings, I would put the Eagles in number 3, just because they still are.
Yeah.
They're still kind of putting it together, and
Right.
you can see that they're still putting it together. When they actually put it together, like it's whatever, and that's what makes me wonder: are the Lions peaking too soon?
I don't know. There's
We did
weird,
this last year too, though.
there's weird inconsistencies to the Lions.
Yeah.
Like they almost need those losses to like get their head right. They're like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. We got to try
Because
it.
the Lions did this last year too, where they had an ugly loss. I think the second game of the season when the Lions lost at home. I forgot who they lost to, but it was like week 2 the Lions lost last year. Then they go and rip off like 7 or 8 wins in a row to get to 10-1, lose another game to somebody they shouldn't have lost to, and then they get to 15-2 despite having all those injuries. Like the Lions have done this now the last couple of years where they just seem to be peaking too soon, but that's just a level of play they have, and then they just drop a game that they shouldn't drop. Dan Campbell probably knocks some heads in the locker room, and then the next week they're back to normal.
Yeah, I just feel bad for Baker, man. I felt like they had a good shot up until Mike Evans went on the cart, and then once he went on the cart, I was like, well, that's it. I mean, defense going to do so much, but if you don't have any of your top wide receivers or even your top running back, I mean, it's hard. That's a hard thing, especially when you're going against the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
So we're coming close to the trade deadline, and my expectation is that they now realize that they're not going to be able to rely on Mike Evans. Who do you try to get?
Not this year, anyways.
Let me ask you this. Tyler Lockett just got released by
Tyler Lockett is the name that I was,
Could they just grab Tyler Lockett as a journey fill-in until maybe they get somebody else back and then tie him up with the Buka?
It actually wouldn't be a bad pickup.
And then the other one to look at too is Jacoby Myers with the Raiders.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, but I mean, you could get Lockett for nothing. Like you could.
No, I know. But I'm just saying, like, because you have not only are the Bucks down Evans, but they're down Godwin, and then McMillan is also hurt. So the Bucks are down 3 of their top 4 receivers because I think Emeka Egbuka has proven that he's going to be the number 1 next year, regardless, just because he's playing out of his mind as a rookie. So if you need basically 3 receivers right now, you have Egbuka, you can go get Tyler Lockett, and then even trade for Jacoby Myers, and that at least keeps you semi-set until Godwin comes back, and then depending on what happens if Evans ends up coming back for the playoffs.
Why do you think Lockett got released?
He asked for it.
Yeah, because that team is terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he asked for it. He asked to leave Tennessee.
They knew that team wasn't going anywhere.
He's not being
Well, we
used
talked-
at all. The guy's got like what 9 catches, maybe 10 catches all year. Like he's not getting a lot of targets. Titans are terrible. He's like,
I mean, nobody's getting a lot of targets. That
Yeah.
team can't stay on offense.
yeah. So he's just like, I don't want to be here anymore. So the Titans granted him his release.
Yeah, the next one to get released is the general manager there.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah.
So
And I don't have any available at the moment, Donna. So
But as I think about that, and I was watching something, I guess maybe yesterday. I don't know if we were talking about it yesterday a little bit or not, but that's if you are a Titans fan, and not even most of the people in Tennessee are Titans fans. You know what I mean? Like and they have like maybe a third of Nashville that happens to be Titans fans. You got to be like, what did we do? We got rid of maybe one of the more hype coaches in the league.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And maybe it was time. Maybe the players he had there were not doing his thing. But you got rid of your best. This GM has gotten rid of their best wide receiver.
Yep.
Lost their best running back.
Mm-hmm.
Like quite possibly the 2 best in the league, and maybe one of the premier coaches in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would get you fired. Just
It
like Shane or whatever the hell his name is up in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still surprised that McDaniel has a job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
how
I
did
don't
he
know how
not
he
get
has a
fired
job.
yesterday? I don't know how he didn't get fired yesterday.
Yeah, I don't either.
I think
I
think it's-
thought sure was going to happen.
I
His
think
press
it's just
conference
because-
was funny though,
yeah.
because he's they asked him if Tua was going to be or if Ewers was going to be the quarterback moving forward, and he took an immediate dig at Tua and was like, "Well, I hope we don't throw 10 picks." So, but funny enough, I do have a soundbite here.
I just think the Dolphins don't want to pay multiple coaches, so I think they're just letting McDaniels.
I think that they want the first round pick.
Yeah, I think they want the number one.
That number
overall
one pick.
Yeah,
And I
they
think
just
that
want
they're doing the exact same thing that they did when they had what's his face here.
Flores.
Yep.
But the only difference is Brian Flores had the balls to say, "No, I'm not going to lose anymore," and he ended up winning 5 of his last 6 games to finish 5-11.
Yeah. So here's Tua's reaction to when he got called out for after week 1 throwing a bunch of picks, right? And his reaction was like, "That's wild."
That was a wild comment. That I turned the ball over in bunches. That's crazy. Definitely not happy, not proud of where I'm at with my play, with how I've gone about things this.
I mean, if there was ever a fall off after, and he
Wow.
wasn't good week 1, right? Like he created a bunch of turnovers. I think he had 3 turnovers week 1. And then he's had 8 picks and 5 fumbles since then.
Yeah.
Can we just say maybe that's a
Plus-
CTE issue?
Plus all the off the field stuff where he's
Yeah.
like calling out teammates and not taking accountability for anything. I mean,
The headshots
Is
are
this
starting
where
to
you
get to him.
is this where you just blow this whole team up? Tyreek is done for the year. You potentially part of next year.
Ever.
Waddle is always hurt. And,
You don't have a
Tua
defense.
probably has lost this locker room at this point. McDaniel's probably getting fired. I mean, do you just drop the grenade on this thing and be like, you know what? We tried.
Well, I figure you gotta let it play out now.
Well, this year, yeah.
And
yeah.
hope
But I mean,
that the Jets lose a game or win a game. I mean, because that's really what it's coming down to. You're going to be number 1, number 2 between you and New York.
Yep.
And to answer your question, Eagles Uncensored with Harrison Jr., they're not going to trade him.
No.
Reason being
Yeah.
is because They are now figuring out that Murray is not the guy there.
Yes.
Well, now they're far enough. Now they're far enough into his contract. It's a little more palatable to eat it, right? Whereas if you'd have done it this year or last year, they just owed him too much money for that to make sense. But now you're a couple years into that contract that they gave him, that all of a sudden moving on from him does start to look enticing.
Yeah. Well, and I tell you, they are probably hoping for an injury to a playoff, to a medium level playoff team. Because ultimately, if they were to losing a quarterback, he becomes really good trade opportunity.
And the funny thing is, the Cardinals have looked better since Jacoby Brissett has taken over. Like the offense is, but with Kyler Murray, the offense was 28th in scoring. They were 29th in yards and couldn't do anything. With Jacoby Brissett, the Cardinals are 9th in yards and 10th in scoring. Like they're actually moving the ball more consistently with Jacoby Brissett.
Yes. Yeah. Why not just add into the dumpster fire? Send him.
Send him to Dallas.
Now, I mean, when you're looking at backups, they're starting, right? Brissett obviously starts. You got Quinn Ewers getting the start there. Not that he looked good, but I mean, whatever. Tyrod Taylor taking over for Fields. It makes you think that some of those are probably going to stay that way moving forward. Ewers for sure. As bad as Fields has been, you might as well just roll off with Tyrod.
Right.
Not that he looked better, but.
Well, yeah, again, at this point, you have to be figuring, all right, we blew it last year on trying to grab a quarterback. Now may be the time to get the number 1 pick in the draft and get a quarterback. I don't know. Maybe that's
Murray to the Raiders. Man, that would definitely not work out.
But when you start to think about it in that regards, like who's a team that he could possibly go to and do something, I feel like that we are really close to Bo Nix either getting hurt or not being the quarterback much longer. Denver, I look as a spot. You want to talk about one of them medium teams. I know that they just had 33 points in the fourth quarter. And it was a big deal, blah, blah, blah. But the truth of the matter is that the defense is what really drives that team. Yeah. They have been winning games. They have been winning games because the teams that they have been playing against are losing them. They beat the Eagles because the Eagles lost that game, not that because Denver won. They beat the Giants because the Giants lost that game, not because Denver won. And I feel like that Bo Nix is not a very good quarterback. That put Murray on that team right now and give it the little bit of resurgence of switching, going from a team that stinks to a team that has playoff potential. And I'd be willing to bet that you could get a little bit more left out of that tank and maybe, just maybe, get to the playoffs.
They are 52 men from a 53-man roster. Like the Jets are hot trash.
I think depending on how serious Jaden Daniels' injury is too, Murray could go to Washington.
Man,
similar play style to Jaden Daniels. Cliff Kingsbury's the OC, old OC for Kyler Murray. That's one to me that makes a ton of sense because right now you have Daniels has already missed 2 games with a knee injury. Now he's got a hamstring injury, and everyone knows hamstrings are one of the toughest things to diagnose because they could be 2 weeks, they could be up to 6 or 7 weeks.
Well, and they re-injure real easy.
Exactly. So, I mean, if Washington is still in the playoff, they should still be in the playoff hunt, but if Washington is still without Daniels in a couple weeks, it makes a ton of sense for them to go after a guy like Kyler Murray, basically just trade Kyler Murray for maybe even Marcus Mariota straight up with a pick or something.
Yeah, they owe him too much money. Yeah, like Washington wouldn't take on that liability.
Well, I think the Cardinals would have to take on some of that contract, like you see some of the teams do when they make trades. But like that's probably the easiest.
Yeah, but even on top of that, I don't think he's getting paid a lot per year. That they have still the dead money that they would still have to eat.
Yeah,
he's not getting like $60 million a year. He's only getting like 25, 30 million.
Yeah, I think 20
So
to 30.
it's not. Yeah, it's not ridiculous money because they still have to eat all the signing bonus money.
That's like, and like I said, with the whole
exactly.
Cliff Kingsbury thing and how he's had 3 years of experience ready with Cliff Kingsbury. I think that'd be the easiest.
He's making 46.
That's still not that bad.
He's
Well,
a
no,
great-
yeah.
That's moderate in this league now.
That'd be the easiest move, in my opinion, for him to make, just knowing the familiarity with Cliff Kingsbury and getting kind of in that same system again, playing the same style as Jaden Daniels. And then New Orleans would be another team. Like, obviously, if New Orleans doesn't have an idea what they're going to do at quarterback beyond this year, have him go to New Orleans.
No,
No way they're
there's
doing
no chance.
They need
No
too many
chance
pieces.
that occurs.
They need too many pieces. They need all their draft picks because I mean that's an element of it too, right? You're going to have to give stuff up to go get him. So you're
Well,
gonna
because of the money, you could probably get away with a 3rd round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like
depending on
you
how
could
bad
probably-
they want him out of town. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
sure
mean,
that right now that they probably want him going.
Yeah, like, I mean, Jacoby Brissett, like, no disrespect to him because he's obviously not like a long-term starting quarterback option. But Jacoby Brissett has proven that everywhere he goes, he can win games. Like, he's won 10 games with the Colts. Every stop that he's made when he's had a chance to start, he's played well enough to keep a job long-term. It's just that there's always somebody better in front of him.
So, yeah, and not to change subjects, but Donna, I did only see a couple of clips this morning from the Flyers game, but that was another Seattle team that lost yesterday.
Yeah, and they lost. They lost big.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like 5-2.
Yeah, no,
and there was
they looked bad. That being said,
there-
the Kraken are sitting 3rd in the West. Of course, we're only 6 games in, but
Hey, it's almost a 10. It's almost a 10% mark of the season already.
okay. and Brad, can you stop, dude? Like, keep it about sports. Like that stuff is dumb.
Yeah,
Like,
knock that
really,
off, Brad.
Like,
Don't make me have to. Don't make me have to do a silencer. We're not going to go play that. You know, that the Eagles are not your mom. You don't have to defend their honor.
just keep it about sports. Keep it fun. Stop doing stuff like that. It makes you look like an asshole. Just stop.
Since you brought up the trade deadline before, Pegs, who do you think is the first team to actually pull the trigger and make the first big move?
So I initially would have thought the 49ers because I feel like that they still have a lot of people that are hurt and that's
keep getting
something up
more.
their alley. But
But then keep winning.
but
because
that,
we're having
I
Robert
feel
Saleh.
like that there is something about the chemistry that you don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
So it's like you get really nervous on who you want to bring into that locker room. There's only a certain level of teams that are ready to start to trade players. You might be able to get a Marvin Harrison Jr. But you'd have to offer a lot. You'd have to offer like a second and a fourth. I don't think you get a first round for him. But I mean that might be the asking price.
Right.
It's like, and you got to have. You're only asking teams with 2 wins or less for players. Anybody who's got 3 wins, like you could have thought maybe Cincinnati would be a player, but now all of a sudden they won a game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like they're back in the mix of it. So had Flacco not worked out,
Trey Hendrickson
That-
would have been done. Given.
that would have been the spot to go grab some offensive players. Or even some defensive players. I mean, they were Trey Hendrickson has been like talk. Again, now they're not going to do it now because of
the win.
the win. So I feel like that there is a limited supply of players that you could even go after.
I will say that if the Bears can go into Baltimore this weekend, beat Baltimore with Lamar Jackson coming back to get to 5-2, I think the Bears are the first team that pulls the trigger to make a big move, and I'm not going to be surprised if they go get Max Crosby. They have the draft capital that the Raiders are looking for. They have the cap space available to take on Max Crosby's contract. And that's kind of the one area that they're struggling with the most is consistent pressure getting after the quarterback. And you bring Max Crosby into that defense to pair him with Montez Sweat, that opens up so much more for that defense. And the Bears would be sitting at 5-2 with a win. And you put in Dennis Allen as Dennis Allen's defense. You put like a guy like Max Crosby in that Dennis Allen defense. We've already seen what Cam Jordan's done with Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator. We've already seen what a lot of these edge rushers can do with Dennis Allen as a defensive coordinator. I think Max Crosby going with Dennis Allen's scheme would help the Bears and Max Crosby for that matter.
Possibly. You know, I mean, I hear you. Again, I don't know that anything is being done in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it's like you said too. If the Bengals would not have won last week, I would have said the same situation where if the Bears would beat the Ravens next week, I think the Bears would pull the trigger on Trey Hendrickson. I think that's just the one piece that they're missing is that elite pass rusher. So if they can get to 5-2 and kind of position themselves where they are, they're going to look at some of these teams that are struggling with that as an elite pass rusher, Max Crosby, Trey Hendrickson, and Jeffrey Simmons from the Titans. Like any one of those guys, I can see the Bears going after with one more win because they have the improving offense. They have a great secondary. They have great linebackers. They're just towards the bottom of the league in quarterback sacks. So you add anybody that can get after the quarterback, that's going to make things so much easier for that defense.
So, but I also believe, I think the Texans have some pieces that could possibly go.
Yep.
I think that may be a small little rebuild, realizing that, hey, they've only got 2 wins and they're not that far out. They've only got 4 losses here. They did get their bye week a little early. But again, you know, just
not having Joe Mixon in Houston.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think that he's having his, sophomore slump. Like this is sophomore slump in the 3rd year, but it's
But I think not having Joe Mixon is a big issue because I don't know if you heard the story with Joe Mixon, but he hurt his foot somehow in preseason. Nobody knows how he hurt his foot. Like he didn't hurt it during a game. He didn't hurt it during a practice. He just showed up one day and his foot was hurting and he got put on the non-football related injury list with a foot injury. Nobody knows what it is and nobody has like a set date if he can even return yet this season, which is why they haven't put him on IR yet because they're hopeful he can come back. So I'm wondering.
I thought it was interesting the fact that Joe Mixon hasn't been there for a hot minute. I was kind of wondering what was going on with that.
Something with his foot. That's why I'm wondering if not having him is kind of led to Houston struggles a little bit because Mixon took a lot of pressure off of CJ Stroud because he could do a lot like in the screen game and the rushing attack and just did a lot of things that Houston doesn't have right now.
Yeah, because Chubb's not that runner that's going to get you all those yards. He's a great goal line, great short yardage, things like that. But Mixon's that guy, that workhorse, you need to push the ball up. So I agree with that.
So here's other names I'm going to throw out there just because, again, I feel like that there is some people that could possibly go, and I'd be willing to bet that this is a team that is willing to start to get rid of some of these guys. Kamara, Cooks, and Olave.
Olave, they're working with Saints and Olave are talking extension right now. I think Olave stays out of that 3 because they wanted whoever they're going to bring in for quarterback to have like that number 1 target to throw to when they get there.
All right. Well, then if that's the case, then I can't see really because their defense is actually pretty good.
Cam Jordan, I could see leaving because of his age and being that he's in the final year of his contract. Cam Jordan's the one guy on their defense that I could see being shipped off because he's making, I think, $11.5 or $12 million. He's 36 going on 37, and this is the final year of his deal.
And other than that, like it's just like I feel like that's a team that you could start grabbing some people because they want to acquire draft picks.
What about Taysom Hill?
What do you get for him? A 5th-round pick? Like,
he's still a gadget player that I think any team could use in some way. However you want to use him.
That's why I think that he falls into because he's that gadget player. Mm-hmm. That's what gets you rid of Kamara, and I think that you could get some worth from Kamara. Mm-hmm. You can get a 2nd-round pick from Kamara, and you would have Taysom Hill wind up being that alternate running back.
Right.
So that's why I feel like that's part of that spot. The Giants make me laugh a little bit. I wonder how they're going to bounce back this week. It's they just beat the Eagles a couple of weeks ago, and now they get the Eagles again. And this is a time where, normally you want players to have short memories. Well, they ain't that short.
No.
Yeah.
So, and I think that you're going to see a much more, and this is where I'll bring in the BG thing. You're going to have the veteran leadership now, the talk and the swagger, because all that talk disappeared. Like nothing, no offense to Jordan Carter, you know what I mean? And Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I mean, they don't have the blabbermouth like BG did, and when you lost all of the blab because you got rid of CG Gardner-Johnson and then you got rid of BG, there was no swagger to the defense.
And that's something that I was talking to a couple of my buddies about last night. Like, obviously, Brandon Graham is at the stage of his career where he's not going to be an every down player. He's not going to make that much of an impact on the field. But what you're getting him for is your locker room leadership and holding everybody accountable. And I basically said that if Brandon Graham was on the Eagles in week 1, that incident with Jalen Carter does not happen. The personal foul penalties that the Eagles were getting early in the season does not happen because Brandon Graham would be holding that defense accountable.
I think that,
thanks for the. They said it's she's doing good. She's doing good. Appreciate that, Donna.
Dwight. I think that Brandon Graham is going to bring way much, and I'm surprised that so this is something that I think is going to start to change a little bit. I mean, it started really with Ndamukong Suh, and a couple of other defensive players. Like Brandon Graham was ready to jump back in week 1. He has not. It's every day he follows the same routine every day. Like he goes to the Eagles facility and he's been working out at that facility. They knew he was ready to come back. He didn't want to retire. It's like, and I don't.
No, why do you think he retired then if he didn't want to do it? Was somebody forcing him or talking to him or something?
It was more of a.
Did the injury have something to do with it? Did the injury have something to do with it? A little bit. I mean, he re-injured it again in the Super Bowl. And so it was a little bit of that. And it was a little bit of, hey, listen, like you are an icon and you deserve to go out on top here. Let's do this. Let's open the door for some other guys to come in. I mean, you are part of this community. So let's keep it that way. You know what I mean? Let's make it happen. So that it's, he never has to worry about anything in Philadelphia anyways. If he wants to go out for a drink, he doesn't have to buy that drink. If he wants to go out to dinner with the whole family, somebody's picking up that check. That's Brandon Graham right now. And he has gone crazy. He has had a little bit of a surge similar to Jason Kelce. But he was not interested in that part. He missed. Like I spoke to him about this. He missed being in that locker room. He missed the camaraderie of the team. If he didn't go back to playing, it was only going to be a matter of time before he became a coach. I think he needs that a little bit, and that it was part of his makeup and that he wanted to be in this. Like he's still got, I mean, not for nothing, he's still got some, some juice in that tank. You know what I mean? And I think that not only this year, but quite possibly next year, especially if he's only playing 35% of the downs. Right.
You know what I mean? Really, one of the biggest things with your team, Pags, over this last offseason when you guys got rid of a lot of your secondary, Sweat, obviously Graham when he left, And then you did bring an influx of linebackers in over the draft, but I did feel like you guys were missing that leadership. And I think that's one of the things, like you said, you brought Graham in. He's going to give you that leadership. They give you a little bit of that blab, that little swag. I think that's one of the things. I think you're missing that swag in your defense.
Like having the youngest, one of the youngest defenses in the league is very good, but it's also a curse. Like it's very good because you're going to have that defense in play for years to come that you can build around. But it's also a curse because of what Jay said. You don't have that veteran leadership on that defense to keep some of these young guys accountable.
That's exactly correct. And Vaughn hasn't been there enough. Like I said, he's an all-pro player, but he hasn't been there enough to really speak like that. You have just about half of the Georgia Bulldogs defense, that won a national championship. So they know how to win, but they don't have too many penalties, too many things that they're doing wrong. No way. Like, for instance, you go all the way back to the spit. You know what I mean? Where, if BG's there, what are you doing over there? Get your ass back over the side.
He's probably grabbing Carter by his own face mask and pulling him backwards.
Right. That's exactly it. You don't need to be over there. You work that out on the field. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
But that's part of, I think you're going to see just his presence there is going to create more of, let's make this, let's get our stuff together here. And I think that's what BG brings more than anything else. It was when they brought in Chris Long here, when they won that Super Bowl a couple years ago, like, in 2017, when they brought them and they brought in, he was also on the Patriots that year and then came over the running back. Anyways, those guys were able to bring the little bit of extra, along with the fact that you had a safety that was able to control the defense. He was the one that, Malcolm Jenkins kept everybody responsible. You don't have any of that leadership there. And I think that was the reason why they got rid of CJ Gardner-Johnson and they didn't want to bring him back, was because you didn't want him being the leader.
I can see that. Couple quick
Garrett
baseball.
Blunt, thank you.
Couple quick baseball notes that just came through. Albert Pujols has withdrawn his name from the Angels managerial search, and now it looks like it's between Scott Service and Albert Pujols for the Orioles job. So I'm wondering if money had something to do with that, or if Pujols just thought that was a better fit.
I mean, wasn't Pujols an Angel though at the first part of his career?
Oh,
last
part of his career.
Or last part? Yeah, I apologize, but I thought that would be a good spot for him.
And then Bo Bichette looks like he might be added to the World Series roster after missing the entire playoffs with a knee injury that he suffered the first week of September. So if the Blue Jays can get Bo Bichette back, that is a huge addition to that lineup that they have not had throughout the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter either, but just having him in there it's a huge addition for them.
What, are they going to DH him?
No, he'll go back to playing.
They got to have Vladdy DH because he's too fat to do anything else.
No, Vladdy plays first. And he's actually been pretty good at first base now. They'll probably put Bo Bichette either at DH or they'll move him back to shortstop where he was and put the shortstop at DH.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope it goes more than 5 games, but I doubt it. And it doesn't matter because I won't watch.
Well, there you go.
I just don't care. I don't care about this. This World Series became nothing to me the moment that the Mariners lost.
Yeah.
PSG 21 was going to be all over everywhere in Seattle. Like it was ready to go. I had stuff worked out, ready to go. A little like itty bitty Mariners flag that I was going to wave like this, wearing Phillies gear. You know what I mean? It was just going to be like, it was like funny, but
the Jays have home field.
Yes.
Yeah. That's probably one of the few things they have working for them is the fact that it's home field advantage for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, they lost
it's
home
not
field
gonna matter.
advantage in the first 2 games last series, so
And
it
then
didn't
they,
really
then they
matter.
gained it, and then they gained it right back.
Yeah, they tied it right back up. So yeah.
But
How about the Seahawks randomly getting a win despite giving the ball away a lot?
Yeah.
That game was so frustrating.
Yeah.
Now, granted, most of the East Coast probably didn't watch it because it started at 10 your time, but it was frustrating. They turned the ball over 4 times in that game. Could have been a couple more, but their defense was playing lights out. Every time they gave the ball up, I mean, they must have they stopped them on 4th down.
3 out of 4.
Yeah, like it was.
They were 1 for 4 on 4th. 2 for 15 on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Like that's a problem. But not that you guys were any better. 2 for 14.
Exactly. Yeah, we were turning the ball over and we couldn't convert on 3rd, and I mean, they just were never really there. The Texans looked terrible, but kudos to the Seahawks to extend their Monday Night Football league leading percentage. So
I will tell you, Seattle was my defense last night in fantasy football, and there was 2 times though, Bo, your defense could have scored a touchdown or almost got the touchdown. 3. I apologize. I missed the 3rd one. You're right. I was like, do you know that I was down by like 15? If they could have got those 3 damn touchdowns, or even just a 2, I think I would have pulled off that win.
What happened with the first safety?
There were 3 picks that hit him square in the hands that they didn't actually catch. That would have been huge. Obviously, that safety, they deemed him forward progress at like the half inch.
Well, they had the one. Remember the one where the defense had a chance to recover the ball in the end zone, and then it wound up being the offense that got it. It wound up resulting in a touchback. But if Seattle could have got that ball in the end zone, then that would have been a touchdown. That would have been the first one I needed.
Well, and then Darnold fumbled in the end zone rather than taking the safety, and they got a touchdown. So I mean, realistically, this game probably wasn't going to be as close as it looked anyway. But
are you surprised with
it was really sloppy play on the offensive side of the ball? JSN obviously still had a huge day.
That's what I was going to ask. Are you surprised with how good he's been? Are you
What's
surprised with how good JSN has been this year?
No, I mean you watched him ascending over the last 2 years. I mean, like
you knew he was going to be the next guy.
He was taking the receptions away from DK and Lockett, so you knew that he was going to be that guy. I mean, because you're talking about 2 guys that were perennial 1,000-yard receivers, and this kid was taking their touches, so you knew he was good.
Yeah.
I mean,
still lots of penalties. Lots of penalties in this game. Oh my Lord.
So many.
105 by them to 93 by you guys.
Yeah. Would we have 12? I think. Like
12.
It was, crazy. Anytime you have double-digit flags, like it's just
that's not
bad.
good. Yeah, that's not good.
And honestly,
I mean,
you have to take the Niners here because all they do, despite having nobody on the field, is win games. So, like, I don't know. I guess I have to stop picking against them because they just keep winning.
What's about Atlanta having only 10 players on defense?
I mean, that's Atlanta.
How do you not have 11 damn players? Like, where's the other guy? Was he sleeping? Is he not paying attention? What's going on?
I mean, sometimes when you sub, it's like a last-minute sub where one guy runs off and one guy runs on, and sometimes the person that's supposed to run on doesn't hear the call. So the one guy runs off, and all of a sudden it's just like, oh, you're supposed to be out there, but then the snap is already happening, and you only have the 10 guys out there.
Hey, if you're the coach of the Falcons and you guy doesn't go out there, aren't you going to be a little irritated with him? Like, that would be the first thing I want to talk. Like, what are we doing? Are you not going on the field?
He was. If you watched his press conference.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happens all the time with like the 12 guys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and the coaches are always mad at that.
Because that's just the fundamentals of it, right? You having the right number of players on the field. I mean, that's step one. I mean,
it's not why they lost though. Like
no, it's not why they lost. No, not at all. But it does show. To me, it shows a lack of somebody's not paying attention on that sideline.
Well, yeah, of course.
But yeah.
there's been a lot of undisciplined play
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
around.
Well, I mean,
everything.
that Seahawk game. Yeah. I mean, you're talking what 25 flags in that game.
Yeah, I mean 20,
Yeah.
22 and
22,
them.
whatever.
Yeah, it's like it's still. I'm sure they picked up one or two.
Yeah, and probably didn't throw a couple that they easily could have.
Yeah, because their arms are hurting from throwing so many.
Right.
It's like, screw this. We'll let this play go.
They're like, it's stuck in my belt. Oh well. We'll get them next time.
So, but
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is the reason why the
did good, though.
49ers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Christian McCaffrey is the reason why the 49ers. I'm glad I picked him up in my fantasy because he has been a beast this year. As I kind of thought so because he goes, it's like a bad year with injuries and then a good year where he doesn't get hurt. And I'm going to knock on all the wood I can right now
Yeah,
because
you better, because it's very rare that man doesn't come down with an injury. That's why that's what I meant by McCaffrey. I'm surprised that he's
mostly
with the workload
he's just,
he took on, that he didn't come down with an injury with that workload.
mostly he's just the only one that hasn't gotten hurt on that team.
Pretty much,
right.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because I think about what I have been witnessing with the Eagles' run game, and the Eagles they are keeping that. That's why you're going to see the passing game really start to excel, I think. And the fact that they threw for 300 yards last week is just the start of this. You're going to start to see 350-yard games week in and week out from Jalen Hurts. And the running game is going, like Saquon Barkley is going to not have quite possibly a 100-yard game here until about week 13. And I just chose week 13 as my thing here.
Sure.
But I think that that's absolutely what's going to happen here. I think that they are going to start to pass the ball really well. They've got too many great receivers on this team to not,
Yeah, exactly.
And there has been, I think they have to figure out better schemings for the offensive line to make up for some of the stuff that they have going wrong there in the Eagles department. But I don't know. I just, it's a shame that Saquon's not running as much. But you know what I do see? I see Saquon everywhere, which makes me think also the exact same situation, that he is a touch distracted.
Sure.
You know what I mean? When you see him on every commercial, like I see him on like 3 or 4 commercials, different commercials at every football game.
Yeah.
That tells me that he's not able. He doesn't have the time that he's had before.
Good.
To do some of the
Let
things
that
that he was doing.
manifest. Let him stay busy. I hope he does commercials every day of the week.
Well, that's what they do. That's what they do with Dak. That's the problem with Dak, I think.
No,
You know what I mean? I feel like
know.
that's-
Hey, I gotta tell you though, Pags. Now you can knock Dak all you want in the playoffs, and I'll be 100% behind you every step of the way because the guy's garbage. It seems like in the playoffs, but the regular season Dak is if he's not hurt, regular season Dak is a really good quarterback. I mean, look at him right now. He's only got 3 interceptions, 3. Almost
I know,
1,900 yards.
So
3 picks.
I'll go along with that.
doing
But
well.
here's what I will say: it's not just playoffs. Any meaningful, like ultra meaningful game with Dak Prescott, he loses. He's not very good in those games. Like
Or he's
he's got a great winning record against the Eagles, except any game that really, really matters.
And that's
the
what I'm
games he
hoping,
loses.
like Donna said. I'm hoping that this will be the year that he takes on that true leadership role, and he doesn't do those types of things. I'm hoping this will be the year that he turns or transcends. Now, that's the delusional side. The reality side is I don't know. I'm very, like you said, Pags. I'm very skeptical.
Well, and it's funny when you think about the Dak versus the Eagles situation, just because a lot of times when they win, the quarterback for the Eagles is hurt, and then vice versa. Like it's very rare that those two teams actually meet up full strength for whatever reason. they always end up with one of their quarterbacks hurt when they face each other. I don't know why, but it seems to happen every year.
And it's like I said, even so, and then week one, whether you do have it, the
Yep.
very first play of the game decides half of our defense is going to, I'm saying half, but really the best player on our defense, it gets ejected from the game. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whether he got
before he
goaded or
was-
not.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. And like I said, they're making a little bit of a resurgence. What are they? 3-1?
Yes.
Yep. They're 500.
Yay.
Yay.
He doesn't play defense, but sometimes he plays to the other defense. Although not this year. He's actually kept
Yeah, he's actually having a good
protected
year.
the ball pretty well.
And interceptions are down across the board.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have gotten smarter.
Unless you're Tua.
Unless
Well,
you're
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think that he's turning the ball over. He's a turnover machine.
Yeah, well,
yeah, that's wild. It's wild.
those headshots have really blurred his vision a little bit.
I mean, and there should have been there should have been 3 against Stroud yesterday. 3 more. We had 3 that hit us square in the hands. I mean,
Well, if they were catching those balls, they'd be wide receivers. They wouldn't be defense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So, some of the defensive players just like to hit people. That's why I converted. I could catch fine. I just like to go hit
You
somebody.
just wanted to lay the lumber. You just wanted to lay the lumber on somebody.
Well, it's because I got tired of getting hospital balls.
Exactly. Mike Evans is gonna have to have a conversation with Baker Mayfield on that. He's like,
Yeah,
I'm 30. I'm 33, going on 34. No more of this hospital ball bullshit.
Yeah, no, I tore a hamstring in high school because of a hospital ball. And I was like, defense sounds all right. And so after high school, I switched to I'm gonna initiate contact instead of just get lit up all the time.
Hey, let me ask you this. Where would y'all rank Baker Mayfield among active quarterbacks? Where would you rank him?
Just
It's-
based on
far as
this year. Just based on this year, or just overall
Yeah, like what do we
I mean, I would say overall, just overall.
top 5 since he's gotten to Tampa for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, how about that little stat that I heard today? Every Oklahoma quarterback from 2016
Is
to
playing.
current is playing in the NFL.
Yep.
That's
starting.
That's impressive.
Starting in the NFL.
That's impressive.
Oh, is Mac Jones? Purdy? Is Purdy not back yet? Is he not coming back?
He was Alabama.
No,
wasn't he?
it's still Mac.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is Alabama.
Yeah.
But
So
Oklahoma,
Purdy has not. He has not gotten closer to coming back. Then.
Oh, he's close.
He's
He-
close.
He
I
was,
still
he was a game time decision last week, but the 49ers just stuck with Mac Jones anyways.
Do you think that they would stay with Mac Jones because they're wanting to ride the hot hand, or do you think that Purdy wasn't ready?
I mean, if you keep winning, why change?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So.
that's my point. And they're paying Purdy a lot of money though to not play right now with all that they went through to get Purdy or to keep Purdy.
Doesn't matter. You want to win.
No, I know.
games.
I mean, but it blows my mind. You do all of this to keep him, but you're right. You ride the hot hand. You do.
Well, I mean,
it
I just
also
always
means
think
that they
back to-
have a trade bait. They have trade bait.
Well, and I always just think
Yeah.
back to when Wilson came here, right? We gave Flynn $17 million to never take a snap. So you use the guy that gets you the wins because wins keep you from getting fired.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously not. It's obviously not the same scenario in Minnesota because of the position they're in, but that's why Minnesota keeps rolling out Carson Wentz because he gives them the best chance to be competitive right now over JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I don't know though, Bo. I think Miami needs to hear that again because, like you said, as bad as Miami's playing, I still don't know how McDaniel hasn't fallen into that category.
No, I mean that whole team is coming apart. There's no way most of that team is still there next year. Like I don't see how McDaniel's
I don't see how he's still
survives
employed.
this season.
I don't see how he's still employed after what happened on Sunday. I thought he'd be fired Sunday night.
I honestly thought that Monday presser would have been where that happens.
I
Right.
just don't know how he's still employed.
But that's the end of our show.
That is the end of our show. We are there. So, yeah, be sure to like and subscribe. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Later.